It's showtime.
BS and Beer Media, in association with STWF TV, the podcasting network.
Introducing the best in the world. Yeah.
Oh yeah, welcome back to Best in the World, hashtag BITW. I'm your host, Dale. With me today, we got my guy, Brandon. What's up, Brandon?
What's happening, man?
All good, man. I figured we would do a special edition of the show where we're going to talk about Dynamite 250 and what we saw live. So that was our very first AEW event.
Yes.
And we've been to TNA together.
Yep.
We've been to several WWE events together. So it's our first AEW experience. So, we do a show about that thing.
and Ring of Honor, right? That was our first Ring of Honor.
Yeah, and Ring of Honor. Yes, exactly. Yep. So, man, okay. So before we get into that, I do want to touch on some of the news items that happened this week from the world of wrestling. Let's start off with TNA, where Nick Nemeth became the new TNA champion. What's your thoughts on him holding the title?
I mean, I like it, man. I was always a Ziggler fan, man. I love Dolph Ziggler. And Nick, he's no longer working for WWE, and people recognize his talent. I mean, the guy's a tremendous wrestler, man. He can do anything. Sure. Now I did see, and I'm kind of, I don't know what to think of it just yet, because I mean it does make sense, but I know a lot of people were concerned about what does it do for Joe Hendry, sorry, I messed up his name. Like, how does that, because he didn't win in this case, but do you think it's too soon for him to have won that? Or no?
No, I don't think it's too soon. I think it's, it may be a little bit too late because some of the new polish may have worn off of Nick Nemeth as far as, him just joining TNA. I think they should have just put it on his shoulders right away.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wondering though if they may have not wanted to do that because of the past. You remember when they used to get like talent from WWE or somewhere major, and they would immediately put the belt on them, and people were against that, especially like your TNA loyal, followers that were strictly, they were anti-WWE. And I respect it. I get it, and you got this guy that's coming in. Sure, he was a made person in a major promotion, and then they immediately put the belt on him, and it kind of felt like it undercut like all the guys putting in the hard work that had been there for a while. If he would have just waited and then put the belt on, the talent. But I don't know. I can see both sides of that. Maybe they just didn't want to make the same mistakes that they made before when they were peak TNA, like 2006, 2007, in that area where anybody knew. Remember when Kurt Angle came in,
right?
They immediately put him to, him and Christian Cage, and who else came in at that time?
But these are big names coming into town. I mean, that's why you put the title on them, because they're gonna be the guys selling the tickets,
True.
And so now I don't know if Nick Nemeth sells tickets as the champion right now, because he's not new right now. So that's my thought about it. But the crossover between NXT and TNA has really been paying dividends. They had their biggest event, live event, not too long ago, because of this. And maybe this TNA title being switched over to Nick Nemeth gives them a crossover with NXT, because he was right there at NXT. He was just the NXT champion not too long ago. Right.
Former NXT champion.
So maybe you give like a crossover now where Nick Nemeth can lose, and it's not looking too bad upon TNA.
Yeah, okay, I can see that. But I don't think Joe should be taking any L's. Not right now. Not with how people are.
Yeah.
You know.
So I think Joe Hendry. I honestly think he's gonna move to TNA. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, move to NXT because
which I was gonna
they're
I was gonna say maybe
him a lot. I gotta think there's a deal in place to where it's like, hey, TNA, he's got 6 months left on his deal. Here's some money, go away.
Yeah. I mean, because they're getting the rub already from the crossover.
Yes.
And I think that makes sense why they didn't put the belt on him, because then they would have been stuck. Like, he'd have been stuck. Like, wait, you can't make him the world champion and then he's just gone in like 6 months. That's not really how it should work. But I mean, man, they've got videos of like NFL players singing this song. I mean,
it's too hot, bro. You're not giving that up, bro.
No. They will throw money at him and make him a star, I'm sure.
Yes.
But yeah, man, I'm really happy that like they've got this crossover and TNA has a partner like that, because I mean, hey, we said that 2 years ago when we went to their show, the Slammiversary.
Right.
It was a solid show, a great show. Their TV or their weekly shows were really good, like consistent stuff that they had been putting out for years. They just didn't have the audience. Right. And I guess people only remember like the last couple of years of when TNA was kind of going through some changes and stuff like that. So they didn't when they were Impact, and they didn't really get to see them, or maybe not give them a second look. And now I feel like they should, or Ben should have done that, and now they are. So I mean, it's great for them. It makes me feel like, considering all the stuff that happened with like Steve Carano, I think he was the head of TNA for a while, right? When is Steve Carano, I believe?
No, the last guy. Hold on.
Who was it again? I thought it was Steve, but I may be wrong. He was former wrestler and trainer.
Yeah. Right, exactly. If you wouldn't looking for his name, I would.
Yeah, let me see if
Scott D'Amore.
Scott D'Amore. Why did I say Steve Carano? My bad. Yeah, Scott D'Amore.
Yeah.
Even though Steve Carano is Canadian, but yeah, Scott D'Amore. Okay. So since he was trying to buy them from their parent company, I wonder. It kind of makes me feel like we're doing this deal now. Is it just because WWE may be purchasing TNA possibly? I mean, could that be a thing?
That's possible too.
I mean, you see, just the timing of the thing they didn't want to sell. It makes me feel like somebody already had they knew where this was going. Like, this is something that's been in the works for a while. It wasn't just random, because then they changed their name.
Yeah. And
all this stuff back to the peak. When their peak, popularity, this is the name that they had, and now they're getting, this exposure from WWE. I mean, I wonder if that's what's going on, man. They're probably gonna buy them.
Exactly. One of our viewers here agree with me. The TNA guys are getting more over than WWE guys. Like I'm telling you, the Rascals on NXT, they've been hot.
Yeah,
man. Like I think something is in the works where WWE's just gonna buy out those contracts and
probably
absorb them. So
yeah.
So
probably so. I'm happy for them though, man, because they deserve some recognition, man.
No doubt.
That product does.
No doubt. Let's talk a little WWE news. I just saw that Bayley wants to do an all-women pay-per-view once again. I think we've got the talent now to where they don't have to call up so many retired ladies, and especially if they can do a crossover like with TNA or AEW or something. Oh my God, like that would be a really popular pay-per-view.
Yeah, and bring in what's the companies that they're working with in Japan?
Oh yeah,
they could even bring some of the ladies in from over there. I mean, this thing could be massive with their reach and having just a super pay-per-view. It would be incredible. I mean, it'd be bigger than the first one almost. Well, that one has historical context, but like still with just a crossover going in, and You got ladies from TNA Impact. You bring in people from Japan. I mean, it would be incredible.
Yeah. They're not going to be required to actually bring in retired people anymore because they've got plenty of talent.
Yeah,
roster and especially if you're doing a crossover, there it can be so much more to it. So, I really hope Triple H goes and gets this done because it was him and Stephanie really that promoted this last one, right?
Yeah,
the very first one. So
it was them, and they wanted that, and they ended up getting it. I mean, it was perfect timing, man, because I think when they done that one, the women's division was, I mean, all the people on top at that point, I mean, really, a lot of their matches were, they had a lot of popularity, and that's what people were wanting to see. So, I think Ronda Rousey had just came in. That was her first year, right? Yeah, 2018.
Yeah.
I want to say was she on that one? I think she was. Let me look it up real quick. Hang on.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think she was. I don't think she was.
Evolution. Let's see who was on this one. Reception. I want to say she was on this one. Yeah, she was. She was the main event with Nikki Bella. She was the Raw champion.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. I was about to say it was her first year. Yeah.
All right.
I think, it was her because Becky and Charlotte went on before them, which was good. And then, of course, you had Trish and Lita, the tagged against Mickie James and Alicia Fox.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that I was going to say, I thought she was on that one. But I'm down. I'd watch it. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. So the next thing I've got is when WWE goes to Netflix, they're going to bring in a ref cam. Now, this has been done before, okay? This has been done before back in the day with WCW.
Mm-hmm.
This is what the ref cam looked like on the head of the ref.
Man.
Now, technology, has
improved.
Advanced, so I got to think they got something better looking than this.
Man. But, first generation GoPro right there.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
So, it'll be very interesting to see the ref cam.
Yeah.
When we get it. Listen, I'm kind of excited for it. Like, let's do it.
I am too, but the thing is though, I don't know how they're gonna do it with those cuts, like how they pan to different cameras. So
yeah,
is this so? Do we want? Here's the thing too. Do we want this to be a part of the main show? Like if you're doing Raw and SmackDown and pay-per-views too, do you really want the ref cam footage to be on there? Because they tend to miss a lot of things, have to turn their back, or you know what I'm saying? Because they tend to play dumb on certain things because it's, and then they miss a lot of stuff. So do you want the production to pan to that camera and he have his back turned and you miss something? Or is it just going to be something that they put on social media or put as an extra inside? Since Netflix, you can toggle the extras possibly, and you just see the ref side of the match. You know what I'm saying? Like a separate thing that they have there too. I wonder how that's going to work. And also, most importantly, if we could get this, if we got like the mic being hot, kind of like that, how like they do some kind of NBA clips of where the mic is hot and you can hear them talking.
Right.
I wonder if we're going to get some of that, but it'd have to be edited heavily. It cannot be in real time because of when they have to like.
Well, I can tell you, like, some of the mics they got right now are way too good because I can hear the wrestlers communicating sometimes.
Yeah, that was my concern. You don't want to mess up our whole situation we got going on here, right? I mean, we know it, but you don't have to throw it in our faces, right?
I want to say it was Evolution. I remember hearing Nikki Bella being like, "Ready? Okay."
or Cena with his terrible calling of matches out in the open sometimes, where he just like say it, and I'm just like, man, come on, man, you got to have the ventriloquist thing going on. What are you doing? Yeah. He would just yell it out. I mean, that was just how he was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wonder about that with it. I mean, it's cool either way, but like my thing would be, my concern would be just inevitable issues of panning to the ref cam and then like missing a vital part of the match unless they can fix it in post-production.
Sometimes that happens at AEW event, because they'll be switching cameras like crazy.
Yeah.
And sometimes he gets a camera that's just off somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like, how did you switch to that, bro?
Oh no.
Got to be somebody on a fat fingered on the switcher or something. So yeah, it happens though. It's live TV, so it happens.
Yeah. I mean, so here's the thing though. You know what? That reminds me. How are they gonna keep the shows live?
Yeah.
On Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So then what about your what's the other, they do those they used to be like your Sunday night heats. Obviously we don't have those anymore, but it's like what, WWE Speed, Main Event. I don't even know if they still have them anymore. I don't even know anymore, but
Main Event still comes on, and they have Speed on Twitter. And
then WWE Speed.
Huh?
And then like
but they have, but that doesn't require any live wrestling at all. It's just studio talk. And,
okay.
And they have Speed and NXT Level Up, like that's all.
Oh yeah,
require live wrestling.
That's right. So I wonder if I would assume that those are going to be kept. Main Event was never live. It was always
it's always taped, and that's always
on the weekend, I think.
On Peacock, if I'm not mistaken. So
okay, and it's what, the weekends?
I can't tell you when it comes out. I haven't watched the episode of that in so long.
Yeah, I can't remember, man. I only remember like what WWF. God, I sound old now, but like Jacked WWF Jacked. Remember that or something like that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then Sunday Night Heat. I used to remember those, especially before pay-per-view. Sunday Night Heat would come on.
Oh yeah. Heat was the
bomb. Yeah. Sunday Night Heat was amazing, man. That was an excellent C-level show.
Yeah.
It had everybody on there.
That was the pre-show before there was a pre-show.
Yeah, and it was an actually good pre-show. It actually had matches. It wasn't just play-by-play, commentary or whatever, or not play-by-play, but commentary.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that'll be interesting. The Netflix, I'm ready for that to see what we're working with.
Yep. All right, man. Let's get into some AEW.
All right,
games to talk about. So for some news, Camille debuts on AEW with the CEO. Looks like she's going to be her muscle.
Mm-hmm.
We've been following Camille for a long time.
Yeah, great house
at NWA. So, what'd you think?
I'm ready for it. I'm hyped for it. I mean, we'll see what they got going for. What kind of plans we're gonna have. But yeah, I mean, we've been following her. I liked her, and I didn't know she was gonna end up in WWE or AEW. But it looks like AEW. Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like they need her, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. It can work either place. So Camille, the way it looks like to me, she's going to be the muscle. She's a lot bigger than Mercedes is. So it makes her look, really intimidating and everything like that. I would like to see how she looks next to somebody like Statlander.
Yeah.
One of the bigger ladies on the roster, because I want to see just how big she is, because in NWA she looked huge,
right?
But it's always it's like high school, right? The guy that plays center for your high school basketball team, he's probably like 6'8", but he gets to college, there's some taller guys there now. You're not the big man on campus. So maybe this is what Camille is like. I don't know. But I'm interested to see. But I'm concerned they're going to make her go back to the whole silent gimmick.
Yeah.
It was effective. Don't get me wrong, but I think she had so much more to show after that silent gimmick was over with.
Yeah, I mean, according to this, Camille is 5'10", so she's a very tall girl, and Chris Statlander is 5'9".
Okay, there we go.
So yeah, I mean, at first I was thinking that Camille would probably have like a Bianca Belair kind of approach, where Bianca Belair is muscular, she looks tall, but she's not as tall as like Charlotte or somebody like that, but she's built, so it works. But no, Camille's 5'10", so she's built and 5'10", so that's very tall for a lady. So, and Chris Statlander's pretty tall. I mean, she looks really tall, I think, because she's got like long legs. Chris Statlander, she looks really, really tall. But yeah, I mean, she's still technically tall. But yeah, so Camille is right up there with their height. So it'll be a good matchup, man.
Yeah. Can't wait for that. So
yeah,
I've been looking forward to seeing Camille for a long time. So
absolutely,
have to see it here. All right, the M&M collection debuts on AEW. This is Mansoor and Mace from. I'm telling you, man. I was really excited to see them debut, and they kept the gimmick. They're working with the same gimmick. What do you think about this? How will this work in AEW?
I'll say this first, and I think you'll definitely understand immediately when I say this. This is going to go into our series. Was Vince right?
That's right.
Because I mean, he puts a gimmick on somebody, or he puts them in a position, and then they leave, but then they stay right exactly in the same spot or the same gimmick that they, that was supposed to be like keeping them down. And they're, so I don't know, but maybe, I mean, this works for them. To be fair, and also this would, they can do the silliness in the comedy part.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll work in AEW because AEW likes comedy and kind of silly things. So I don't think that they would be out of place there. But we'll see how far it gets them as far as like being successful. I think it depends on what they're trying to do. Like, do either one of them want to be like individual stars, world champions, stuff like that? Or do they just want to stay, make some money, be a tag team? I mean, it really depends on where they're trying to go. I don't know much about like their aspirations and what they wanted to do, right? So it's kind of hard to see what's going to happen in AEW outside of people being like, oh yeah, I remember them, and then them being in the tag division. Cool. They've got, tag team aspirations. Great. But I don't really know, man, because I didn't see enough interviews from them to know kind of what they wanted out of the wrestling business there.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to have a manager and Maria Kanellis.
Okay, yeah,
he's going to be their mouthpiece and stuff. Look, I'm all for seeing Maria Kanellis on TV. I'm all for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she knows what she's doing. Veteran talent. Yes. I mean, she's been around since original Ring of Honor. I mean, exactly who you need. Somebody that knows what she's doing. Yep.
But yeah, we will see if Vince was actually right.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We shall see. We shall see. Man.
Oh, Vince, man. All right, man. Let's get into our review of AEW Live, man. Because we went to see AEW 250.
Yes.
I think we got a good show overall, man. How did you feel about the show?
I felt we definitely got our money's worth. Like, more of, I mean, this was like a all you can eat buffet for the price that we paid. Absolutely. Man, they gave us more than we bargained for. And that opening match, and our seats, our seats were top tier. But
For real.
I almost didn't make it, but they were top tier. But yeah, absolutely. That first match, man, was worth the price of admission.
Yeah, I actually thought the match was going to end pretty early, and like some kind of squash fashion, and then we're going to get Ospreay and MJF at
Wembley.
All In,
Yeah,
in London, and they gave us an hour. And now the bad part of me being live, I didn't see the ring punch or whatever where he uses dynamite.
Yeah.
So I missed that, but I caught the fact that he won like at the buzzer and the whole oxygen crap at the end of the match. I mean,
easy dubs.
Wonderful work. The match was a spot fest. Spot after spot after spot after spot. It was amazing. We went with a buddy of ours, Tim, who's not a wrestling fan at all. And I think this match, being an hour, still kept his attention.
Oh, he was a fan at the end. He couldn't believe it.
Yes.
I mean, his first wrestling event, and he got like a top tier match, like first one. I was like, it does not happen like this for most people. I need you to understand that. And when MJF walked out, I told him, I said, listen, this guy, out of anybody in this locker room, is the future of pro wrestling. And I was like, this guy has everything that you need to be a good pro wrestler. He's old school, mind, knows how to be a face heel, can do practically anything, and knows how to work, which is, the most important. I said, future wrestling, man. And then Ospreay came right after him. I said, and also this guy too. This guy's great. I said, you should watch him too. And I said, if you remember anything about like the high flyers of like the WCW cruiserweights, this guy is one of the best of the modern era. And I said, you should definitely check him out too. And then they went an hour and it was fantastic. And he was just like, this is great. And I was like, we don't always get this. I was like, it's a lot of watching to get to this point. As not every show is this great, but he enjoyed he understood also. I think this is really important as him being a non-wrestling fan, that he understood how the crowd and being in the atmosphere made things so much better. And he understood why you want to be live in something like that. And the difference it is from traditional sports to sports entertainment, and how important it is for the crowd, the energy you get from the crowd. He absolutely got that. And it was fantastic. So that first match, chef's kiss live, like, it was so good.
Yep.
I'm better than you, and you know it.
Exactly.
My boy MJF. Oh yeah, and speaking of which, I was like, I was there the whole time. Somebody check on MJF. Somebody check on my boy. I called it. I said, we are taking no L's today. He is winning. Yep. And he won. I was like, we are taking no L's tonight.
What did you think of the crowd? Because from my perspective, I thought it was different than just a normal WWE crowd.
Yeah.
It was similar to how it was when we went to Slammiversary, but on a bigger scale, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. I think because the folks that went to the AEW show when we went, those, you could tell that they are specifically like AEW fans. Mm-hmm. Just by how, I mean, when I was outside, we weren't together, like y'all were already in by the time, but when I got out there, the people making this, I listened to them. I listen to everybody kind of when they're talking, I can hear them. Like, no, they were AEW fans. Like, they have been there since the beginning, and they're into, like, I listened to them talk about like Ring of Honor out there, like old school Ring of Honor. They were talking about New Japan, all that. Like, they're really heavy into like non-WWE wrestling. So I think they really appreciated the show. Right. Especially when they were chanting, "Please come back!" Like,
yes, that was a great moment in the show. Tony Khan comes out to speak to the audience, gets us all pumped up and everything like that. And before he gets to walk to the back, the crowd starts chanting, "Please come back! Please come back!" Because this is the very first show in Little Rock.
Amazing.
And so he did come back and say, "Hey, we will be back." In Little Rock. And so I love to hear that. The fact that they have like a residency pretty much in Arlington, Texas, at the Esports Arena this summer. Like it should be easy to put us on the map here to come on back to Little Rock.
Skipping a hop. You know, from how much they travel all over the U.S. and the world. I mean, it's a skip and a hop from there. And I really appreciated too is he said because he didn't know. He said because it turned out so well, and I think he was talking about how appreciative the fans were that were there. Like we were all into the show the entire time, but
chanting the entire time.
Was hot, and I think he expected people to like it, but he didn't think it was going to be like that. You know, our crowd was small but mighty, man. They're vocal. It was definitely a different energy than what we got from the traditional like WWE Raws or SmackDowns.
Remember the first NXT show we went to together?
Oh yeah.
I think that felt similar, just on a bigger scale.
Yes. Oh, I'll never forget. Oh, and I always tell this every time you bring it up. I'll never forget at that particular show was the first showing of Bianca Belair.
Yes.
When she was before she was, I think she wasn't even on. She wasn't even on TV yet. Yeah. So she was. Yeah, it was amazing. It was her and Ember Moon. I'll never forget it. And they were chopping and hitting each other stiff as all get out. And I never forget. I was like, I love Bianca Belair. And then I was like, I love everybody. I love them both. And Bianca gave me this look. You remember that? It was hilarious. She was so annoyed with me. She was over it, man. She wanted me to shut up. And I'll never forget that. I knew. There's a tweet out there that I tweeted. If you go find it, let me see what my Twitter handle is. But after that show, I said she is gonna be a big star. Keep an eye on Bianca Belair, something like that. It was a long time ago. It was right after, and look at what she turned out to be. I knew it that first time we ever saw her. I was like, "Ooh, she is money."
Exactly.
I was like, "You just wait. There's no way that they're gonna keep her down on that one."
Super athletic, man. And she
man,
looked good doing it. So
I love that show, man. It's one of my favorites.
Yep, it was, man. It really was. Okay, so did you happen to leave with any merch, AEW merch at all?
No, I didn't. I didn't get a chance. I saw some of it. The things I was looking for looked like they were sold out. And they had that championship belt up there that I was eyeing, but man, it was really pricey. I think it's like the AEW World Championship, and it was deluxe, man. They wanted a lot for it, and it's nice. If I could have afforded it, I would have. But no, I didn't leave with any. Like all the MJF stuff, I didn't see any. I think they probably already got it by the time I got out there. And it was all gone.
Okay, well, what was your, I guess, most disappointing thing about the show?
The most disappointing thing, I think, it's affected by the best thing that happened at the show. Okay. The best thing that happened at the show was the opening match and it went an hour. Mm-hmm. The con of that is that a lot of other people that I wanted to have saw weren't on the show.
Yes.
And so, and if they were, it was like not really, like they were on it, but they weren't. Mm-hmm. So, with that being said, if I could have the choice of having all the talent on the show that I wanted to see in one go, or keeping that opening match that we had, I would choose that opening match, because the main thing is, you remember, I wanted to see, I was like, MJF has got to be on the show.
Yeah, we were worried he wasn't even going to be on the card. So
I was still coming, but that was my own. I'll be honest, that is the reason why I bought the ticket. I said I want to see him, and I said I want to see Okada, and that was what I said. And then Ospreay as well. I mentioned Ospreay too, and I was like, I got to see that. as long as I see MJF, the world is okay with me. And sure enough, we got this match set up, and I was like, oh man, I'm so hyped. I'm so hyped for it. And it over delivered. Over delivered. But yeah, that would have been my only con, would have been just because there are a couple of people I wanted to see. And I mean, I kind of saw them, but I really wanted like what I've seen on TV, like the whole experience. Like for example, the Acclaimed, I wish I would have got the rap coming down the aisle, something like that. You know, those kind of things. But you know, I didn't get that, but that's okay because they're coming back. I mean, there's plenty of chances to be able to see something like that again.
Yeah. Let's see. See, I wanted to see more of Billy Starks and Athena.
Okay. Yeah.
From Ring of Honor. Like,
yeah.
They're the whole reason why I watched the show in the beginning.
Yeah. Oh, like, wait, which show? Ring of Honor?
Ring of Honor. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I got you.
Like, they carry that show for me.
Yeah.
They are so entertaining together, and I wanted to see more of them. They came out and did a little promo. I couldn't really hear the promo too well.
Yeah.
But
a lot of booing happened.
I did go back. Yeah. I did go back to watch it on TV, and you know, I caught everything. So
okay, yeah,
I love how she's working this injury thing, and I honestly thought it was a real injury at first, and maybe it was to some extent, but
yeah,
they kind of played up to be more of an injury than it was, and
gotcha.
They let her heal up and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, when I got there, I was listening to her try to speak, and they booed, and I couldn't hear anything because I don't know if the audio system was having some issues at that point, but they're booing. I mean, I don't know how it sounds on TV, but in the arena they were booing pretty hard in my area. So I really couldn't hear what she was saying, but then she screamed. I could hear that part.
Yeah.
And, yeah. But yeah, when I walked in, they were booing pretty bad in my section, and you know, or in that one. So yeah, I think that I wish I could have seen more of that, but the way that it's set up, I think I wish if it was an individual show, which I get why they do that. Like it's you know, they're maximizing their booking of the arena to do all the show. And it's smart. It makes sense. Yes. I absolutely understand it. Like no disrespect to that, but on the con side of it, like as a con, it's hard to follow because it splits the show. Mm-hmm. And then I guess they like pre-tape or record whatever else somewhere else, but it like puts some of the beginning at the very start of the show, and then at the very end when it was, you know, really late, it was almost 11, then the rest of it's there, and it kind of takes you out of it with the other shows that are there. But I totally understand why they do it. I completely get it. And
I watched that ROH show, and yeah, there were people performing on the show that we didn't see.
Yeah.
So
okay.
They must record some stuff at every Collision for ROH.
Okay.
They must record at every Dynamite for ROH.
And then
they piece those matches together, and then they have the commentators do the play-by-play live or whatever.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Because you know they weren't at the arena either. The commentators for ROH.
So it's like a voiceover.
Yes.
That they. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Exactly.
Because I was trying to figure it out, because I was like, what we saw, and then of course there were dark matches there. Mm-hmm. There's no way that could fill up the show the way that it was laid out. Like I was trying to figure that part out, but that does make sense. When they do Collision, they probably add the rest of the Ring of Honor show in there as well, since Collision is on a tour by itself. Then that probably makes sense then, or at least an event by itself. So that makes sense to me.
Yep, that's how they do it. That's how they do it. So, it's pretty nice little deal they got going on. I just want to see more. Hopefully we'll see some TNA come to the city now. Let's go TNA. Keep going to Canada.
Imagine if they get get really good at their partnership. If TNA and NXT could do kind of what AEW does and have those shows tour together, and they can run them, whether they get bought out or if it's just a really, really good partnership. You have NXT and TNA working together and having their shows run. That way TNA can tour.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, that way TNA can tour. I know NXT, that show we went to, that was right when they started the peak Black and Gold, and I think that would be easier for them to carry a weekly episode and tour it with TNA, and it gives TNA the rub because they would, benefit greatly from being able to tour. I know that they tried that a long time ago, but now that they've got something with it and the product, both of them are firing, on all cylinders now. I think that would be great to bring them along and tour. I think it's a great partnership.
That's an absolutely great idea.
Yeah.
Because TNA, TNA is afraid of going to a bigger venue for the most part, and NXT is, except for when it comes to PLEs. They'll go play a major arena in like Connecticut, somewhere in their backyard. They'll run one of those shows real quick. But if they tour together, they're sharing the burden of the venues and all that stuff. I think that would work, and I think it will fill the seats.
It should. I think they could do our arena, and if not, we've got a smaller one that they can go to, and I'm pretty sure that they could do it, especially once this thing gets ironed out and they get like a really good partnership and everybody gets accustomed to it. You kind of understand the functionality. I think that they could probably do our arena. I think so. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. We've got we got smaller ones in Pine Bluff and Jonesboro, I think. And there's one in Jonesboro because WWE does shows in Jonesboro too. Like they do house shows.
Bud Walton too.
Oh yeah, up there in Fayetteville. Yeah. Well, that one's 20. How many people are? Let me see what that one is.
It's got to be at least 15, 18,000, something like that. That should be a typical basketball kind of arena. So, and it's a college arena, so they play college arenas all the time.
Yeah, this is 19,200, so 20,000 essentially. Yeah, that's a big arena. So but they should be able to. I think they should be able to do that. And if not, like I said, they've got Jonesboro, they've got Pine Bluff, and they've all ran shows out of both of them before. Like the house shows have been run out of those, mainly Jonesboro. WWE does that one quite a bit when they do house shows. Yeah. So that should be fine.
Makes sense, man. Yep. All right. So is there anything else I'm forgetting about the show? We left at the hardcore kind of lights out match because it was Layla Hirsch versus somebody.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know if that one was. I think it was that one was a dark match. I don't think it was just for us anyway. I think, right?
No, it was on ROH.
Okay.
It was actually on there. Yeah.
Okay. We did. We left at that one. I think the other one that we were going to talk about, the other profile match, would have been, but it got broke up. Would have been the Okada versus Swerve.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the other main event that got broke up at the end, and everybody came out, and it kind of set up what they're going to do at Wembley, I believe. It kind of set that up, and then of course Blood and Guts match it set that up as well.
Yeah,
that happened, and you kind of see where they're going to be going with the major pay-per-view that's about to happen out there in Wembley, which I'm curious to see if they can repeat the numbers for the first one when it sold out the arena, which is a really big deal. Like that's a lot of people that came out to see the show, and I mean that's amazing. And I'm wondering I'm sure they can definitely pull off enough people to be in the stadium, but I wonder if they can get those same people, or if not more, since Wembley now understands that they've got them coming back. They want to put together shows, kind of like how when WWE goes to Europe, and I mean they show out at those pay-per-views, man. The crowd is into it. They're showing up for them. I mean, they're hyped the whole time. I wonder how this one's going to turn out for them.
Oh, you reminded me of something.
What's that?
Nick Khan and Triple H were in London, pretty much discussing bringing WrestleMania to London.
Yeah,
So
I forgot about that.
it seems like WWE has gotten a lot of interest from different states, countries, or whatever to host, and now they're just selling off WrestleMania rights left and right. Like whoever wants to buy it.
Yeah, I think because they probably now that business is showing the revenue that comes in for the city.
Yeah.
With people coming in, a lot of people, mainly people that are like not native to the place, whether it's they're out of the country or they're from another state or province, and are coming in, spending a ton of money, staying at the hotels, going around to the local shops and stimulating the economy that way. I mean, it only makes sense. And plus they, I think WWE now is essentially negotiating like incentives to bring it there, like kickbacks that they would get, I'm sure, of some sort to, cover a lot of things, and sponsorships, of course, take the rest and, cover that. But yeah, man, it's, and then of course, I don't think, they've never had one in London. They had a SummerSlam, but they did not have a WrestleMania. So what was that? 92, I think SummerSlam was in the UK.
Maybe.
Yeah, 92.
I can't remember.
Yeah, it was 92 because it was Davey Boy versus the Bret Hart for the IC title, I think. And so you've got that going on. I mean, what is it going to be? 40? No, it can't be 42. I thought 42's already been decided. So
I think the next 2 years have been decided.
Okay.
And
so you got 41 in Vegas, and 42 is in what, Ohio or somewhere? No, that was SummerSlam. Indianapolis.
One supposed to be in Minnesota. Oh, yeah, Indianapolis. That's it.
It's because Minnesota was supposed to get Mania for 41, but they got a 2-night SummerSlam instead because they moved it back to Vegas. Okay. So Minnesota's getting SummerSlam for 2 nights. So even now SummerSlam is becoming 2 nights. So all the Big Five is going to become like this huge stadium 2-night event.
A whole weekend event. That's what it is. They're selling you from Friday till Monday, Sunday, pretty much.
Monday. Yeah. I mean, that's amazing. If you're in that city, if you're not, then it's expensive. But I mean, if you want to do the full experience, I mean, that's amazing, man. Like they need to bring one back to us. We hadn't had one since 2002. No mercy.
You know what's amazing? Like they build football stadiums to pretty much play 16, 17 games a year.
Yes.
Okay. The WWE comes to town and they sell out that same stadium like 2 nights in a row. Then they sell out the basketball stadium 3 nights out of 4.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's like how is wrestling not viewed in the same? Like it is insane. They sell a crazy amount of tickets.
Crazy, man. I
mean, it is. People who think wrestling's dead. No, it is amazing how many people show up, and
so lucrative.
Yeah, I mean, they might as well just consider like the stadiums for just live sporting events at this point instead of just being exclusive to football. I mean, WWE is going to do this. I mean, you're going to guarantee a stadium's going to be sold out. If they get their way and all the Big Five turns into stadium shows only, that'll be 5 times a year. Stadiums across the U.S. are going to be like filled to the brim with people, or they get 4 a year and then 1 and then goes out of the country. Because right now it looks like all your B-level pay-per-views are going to go out of the country. So like Europe and all that, and then those are big shows in Europe. I mean, shoot, they established one. Clash at the Castle is a stadium show and a big arena show. I mean, they're doing so much big business right now. It's insane.
I think it really comes from the whole deal with Saudi Arabia. Like, basically bought their own show.
Oh, I forgot about them. Yeah. I mean, their shows. Oh my goodness, that arena, whatever that thing is that they're in, like that dome or their stadium. That thing is incredible.
It's massive.
It's so big, and the pyro.
In there.
Do what now?
they're playing soccer in there. So
yeah, the pyro at the way their pyro's done there is incredible. Like it is amazing. It looks so nice.
Yep, absolutely, man. Absolutely. So, yep. So we're gonna see WrestleMania in London coming at some point in the future. They're working hard for it, though. That's what I'm saying. I'm definitely
ready for it because I already know that Europe is not going to disappoint. They're going to show out at that WrestleMania. It's going to be loud for 4 to 5 hours straight of just hype.
So now once the Europeans start getting more wrestling, like on a normal basis,
okay,
are the chants and all this kind of stuff going to start dying down a little bit?
Well, it depends, though. I think it depends on if the way that it feels there is that they're doing shows there kind of the way they do states here, even though those are separate countries that they pick and choose. Mm-hmm. It just feels like states because of how quickly things move around, but it's not. It's completely different countries. I feel like if they lose like a lot of whether ticket sales, drop because of it being normalized or something like that, they'll just go to the main market that's, supporting it, or they'll just move it around. I don't think they'll have to worry about that because there's so many countries to cover in Europe that I feel like that they'll just tour them. And I mean, I don't think they'll ever just be designated to like, okay, France is getting X, Y, and Z pay-per-view once a year. I think that between Germany, England, France, they could go to Spain, Portugal, Netherlands. I mean, it's just so much there that you can do. And I don't know. I see that being a thing where Italy too. Yeah, Italy. I see that they'll move around so much that I don't think that people will get too tired of it. Although they could just travel to a show. I think it's easier to travel to different countries there than it is here. The way ours works, it's way easier,
pretty much.
Yeah, it's economically probably a lot better than how ours is. Ours is insanely overpriced, but theirs, I think, for the way I understand it, is fairly easier to work with. I don't think it'll get stale like that unless they just take up residency at a place for like every year or something like that. But still, at the same time, all right. So we in the U.S. for 52 weeks, even though they're not in the same state, we get all this wrestling here. Sometimes in your city, you get 2 shows a year. And if you're in a bigger city that actually makes money, you get pay-per-views. So we've been at this for 50, 60 something years. It's understandable why things are like that. We've seen the highs and the lows and all of that. Europe, on the other hand, even if they do get one per year like that, or I'd say a country get, like, let's say France gets not necessarily the same pay-per-view, but one a year. You have one in Nice. Let's say that you get one in Paris, and then they switch over and do something else. It's still a fairly new thing for them to get that like consistently like that, and it's one show a year compared to our multiple shows and all of this stuff that we got going on. So I think the crowd will still be hyped for it. I mean, even us here, I mean, our crowds are starting to come back and cheer a lot of things because wrestling is so hot right now. So even with our 60 plus year history of like, I mean, it's longer than that, but I'm just giving an example of so many shows of the same company for that long and getting consistent pay-per-views over and over again. And we're still cheering. I mean, I think they'll be fine. I think wrestling will be fine with that.
Okay. All right, man. Well, that's going to wrap up our show for the week. We do appreciate everybody joining us and chiming in. We will be coming at you guys next week. We're going to be talking about the latest that's going on in wrestling. And we're going to be talking some nerd stuff because that's what we do. We were wrestling nerds. So
absolutely.
Yeah, from my guy, Brandon, I am Dale. Kenny Omega, take us out, man.
Wasn't you two? Goodbye. Mwah. Good night. Bang! right! Yes!
Thanks for watching our show. Remember to subscribe for more shows on the network. Smash the like button, share, and comment.